consumer research process, if I get to know how exactly the consumers are going with the research process, okay, easily I can understand the consumer through the research process. Internal factors are the internal perspectives which affect the consumer shopping behavior. External factors are the external to the consumer. See, when it comes in terms of customer service, not only in terms of a service sector, in product sector also. Okay, so after the sales service which is going to happen. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. This is Mr. Hemant Kumar from the Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First State College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. In today's session, I bring a very new subject, that is consumer behavior for 5th semester BBA students. Here, this is session 0 of consumer behavior, that is a completely introduction session. Here I am going to give the introduction about consumer behavior. Here this is agenda of today's my session. We are going with a syllabus part of thing, followed by units that is included in the syllabus. So this syllabus include 5 units. Then followed by internals and externals, that is exam pattern. Here coming to the syllabus, okay, so the syllabus has been classified into 5 units. Okay, so unit number 1, introduction to a consumer behavior. So here we are going to introduce what exactly the consumer behavior is, why exactly consumer behavior is required for the today's business environment. Okay, so followed by unit 2, consumer behavior determinants, which are the factors that influence the consumer to make a decision while purchasing. Okay, so there are the consumer get affected by 2 factors, internal and external factors, that we are going to study in this unit. Followed by unit 3, consumer decision making process. While making a purchase decision, the consumer will be undergo a process. Okay, so that process we call it as a consumer decision making process. Unit 4, customer relationship management. Okay, so it is a modern marketing concept. Okay, so as the marketing concept, okay, earlier there was a marketing concept, so it was a product centric approach. Whatever the product that is been manufactured should be purchased by the customers or consumers, so there was no option with those people. Second one is consumer centric approach, okay, or customer centric approach. So whatever the customer want, or whatever the needs of the customer, wants of the customer, okay, so or desires of the customers, as per the taste and preference of the customers, we need to facilitate the product. Third one is the customer relationship management. So here this customer relationship management is going to say about not only selling the product to the customer is important, but also retain the same customer for longer period of time to maintain a good relationship with the customer. It's about the customer relationship management, followed by consumerism. So these are the 5 units that should be covered. Here in unit 1, okay, so it's about the introduction to consumer behavior. Here we are going with meaning, definition and need for consumer behavior. Okay, so why we need to study the consumer behavior? What is the exact need to study the consumer behavior being a entrepreneurs? Okay, followed by consumer and customer. So here there are 2 terms, guys. Okay, so the consumer and customer. What are the difference between consumer and customer? They may ask you, or they may ask you, okay, what are the difference between buyers and users? Okay, if they ask one among this question, the answer is one and the same. Followed by industrial buyers versus organizational buyers. How exactly the industrial buyers are going to purchase the product? What exactly the industry is? Okay, so it is going to convert the raw materials into finished product. Okay, organization, it may be the manufacturing unit, it may be the IT, it may be any kind of a service sector. So no, so how exactly their behavior while purchasing the product, it differs. Like it may be an organization or it may be a industry. Okay, so it is not perpendicular to each other. So that is a difference that we are going to show here. And consumer, that is features of a consumer. Okay, so characteristics of a consumer. So consumer consists of various characteristics. Okay, which are those characteristics? Going with a consumer behavior model, it is a very important question in the exam point of view. Okay, so that is economic model, psychological model, input, process, output. Okay, so Harvard sheet model, industrial buying, behavior model. Okay, so these are the models that we are going to study when it comes in terms of the syllabus. consumer research process. Okay, how exactly he is going to do research when it comes in terms of a marketplace. Okay, understanding consumer through research process. Say what happened. Okay, so if I want to be succeeded in the business, okay, so I need to understand the mindset of the customers. Okay, say for example, okay, consumer research process. If I get to know how exactly the consumers are going with the research process, okay, easily I can understand the consumer through the research process. Okay, if I get to know this, okay, so I will be familiar with this. So that is interlinked with each other, that we are going with the syllabus. Okay, so unit 2, consumer behavior determinants. So as I said, there are a number of factors, okay, which influence the behavior of a consumer, that we call it as a determinants of consumer. Okay, so mainly the consumer get affected by two factors. One is internal factor, second one is external factor. Okay, internal factors are the internal perspectives which affect the consumer shopping behavior. External factors are the external to the consumer. Okay, so that is factors influencing the consumer behavior. Okay, so as I said, internal factors. Which are all those internal factors? It may be the needs of the individual people or the consumer. It may be the motivation. Okay, so these needs are the motive to purchase the product for the consumer. Okay, followed by perception, personality, lifestyle, values, learning, and memory, beliefs, and attitudes. So these are all the internal factors which influence the consumer to make a purchase decision, followed by the external factors. Okay, so when it comes in terms of external factors which is outside the consumer, say these internal factors are all inside the consumer himself. It may differ from one person to another person, one group of people to another group of people, one category of people to another category of people, but they need to consider this criteria. So when it comes in terms of external factors, okay, so the consumer get affected by culture. Okay, it may get affected by subculture, social class, reference group, and also opinion leadership, dynamics of opinion leadership process. Okay, so means these are all the factors which is going to affect the behavior of a consumer. It may be the dynamic of opinion leadership. It may be a opinion leadership. Okay, so it may be the culture, subculture factors. Okay, it may be the reference group or the social class. Okay, so these are all the external factors which motivate the consumer to make a purchase decision, followed by the motivation behind opinion leadership. So what exactly the motivation? For example, I'm an opinion leader. I'm going to suggest some product to somebody else. Okay, so what is the motivation behind me? On what basis that I'm going to suggest some other person? On the basis of experience, on the basis of knowledge. Okay, so these are all the factors that we are supposed to go with. Okay, so followed by a family, person's age, lifestyle, stages, occupational, and the economic circumstances. So these are all the factors which influence the consumer to make a purchase decision. So it may be the family. What kind of the family? Whether it is a nuclear family, okay, so whether it is a joint family. Okay, so a person's age matters a lot. When it comes in terms of children's, their needs and wants are different. The way how the aged people they are going to purchase the product is entirely different. Life cycle stages. Okay, there are four stages in the life cycle. Okay, so this stage is not equivalent to that stage. Okay, so that we are going to learn in the syllabus. Okay, so occupational and the economic circumstances. So based on the occupation also we are going to purchase the product. Based on our economic stability, okay, based on our income, we are going to make a purchase decision. Hence, these are the factors which influence the consumer decision making process. Followed by unit 3, consumer decision making process. How exactly the consumer is going to make a decision while purchasing a product. Okay, so commonly the people they won't visit the shop and they won't purchase the product directly. Okay, so before they purchase the product, okay, they are going to think, they are going to consider certain criteria. Which are all those criteria? Steps in consumer decision making process. It is a 10 marks important question, guys. Please note down this point. Okay, so consumer decision making process. If a consumer want to make a decision, okay, there is a protocol how he need to go with. Okay, so starting from the need recognition till the post purchase behavior. Okay, so everything he need to go through. Diffusion process, the adoption process. Okay, it is a 5 marks question. They may ask the diffusion process or they may go with the adoption process. If they ask, that is for 5 marks. Levels of consumer decision making. So which are all the levels that the consumer is going to make? That is, there are 3 levels of consumer decision making. Okay, so that we are going with the syllabus. Okay, models of consumer decision making. Okay, so there are 8 main models of a consumer decision making process. Okay, so followed by industrial behavior decision making process. Okay, how exactly the industries while making the purchase decision, okay, what is the protocol it is going to follow being an industry. Okay, followed by factors influencing industrial buying. Okay, so which are all the factors which influence the industrial buyers to buy the product, that is raw material, from outside the organization. Okay, so this is the topic which need to be covered in unit 3. Followed by unit 4, it's about customer relationship management. Here, as I said, it is a modern marketing concept. Okay, so if I sell the product to the customer, it is not sufficient. Okay, we need to retain him for a longer period of time. It's all about the customer relationship management. Okay, so customer satisfaction versus customer delight. See, there is a slight difference between the satisfaction and delight. So what are the difference between the satisfaction and delight? So how exactly the satisfied customer is going to react to the situation, delighted customer react to the situation in the market. Okay, followed by monitoring and measuring customer satisfaction. Okay, so how they are going to monetize. Okay, so the customer satisfaction level, followed by the measuring customers, how exactly the people are going to measure the satisfaction level of when it comes in terms of customer. So there are certain models, okay, so that we need to go with, followed by basic customer satisfaction survey tools. Okay, so if we want to know the customer satisfaction, okay, we need to go with certain tools which is going to measure the satisfaction level of the customer. Okay, customer care and customer service practices. Okay, so when it comes in terms of a customer care, okay, so it is also a kind of a customer relationship management which is going to serve the customer and maintain a good customer and retain the customer for a longer period of time. How exactly the things are going to work when it comes in terms of customer service. See, when it comes in terms of customer service, not only in terms of a service sector, in product sector also. Okay, so after the sales service which is going to happen, and also the role of frontline employees in handling customer queries. Okay, so how exactly the frontline employees that they are going to handle. Okay, so or the front office employees, okay, how they are going to treat the customer, how they handle the queries, how they are going to solve the problems of the customers. Okay, so these are all the theory aspect that we need to go with. Okay, sources of consumer dissatisfaction, which are all the reasons, okay, for the dissatisfaction of the consumer, why the consumers are not satisfied with our product or a service, which are all the reasons. Okay, followed by dealing with consumer complaints. It is also a criteria of a customer relationship management. Okay, so we need to deal properly with the consumer complaints. Say what happened if we are not responding towards a customer complaint, if we are not solving the problems of the customers. Okay, say what happened, we are supposed to forget that customer. He won't come back to our brand. He won't purchase the product with us. Okay, so if we people are going to give a good after the sales service, okay, so he will be our loyal customer. Okay, so customer relationship management process, how exactly the CRM process is going to happen according to marketing. Role of CRM in customer satisfaction, how exactly the CRM is going to satisfy the needs and wants of the consumers. Okay, how exactly it become the reason for the satisfaction level of the customers. Okay, so this is the topic that we need to go with. The last one, consumerism. Okay, the concept of consumerism, what exactly the consumerism is about. Okay, consumerism in India means here we are going to study particularly about the Indian consumerism that has been followed since so long. Reasons for the growth of consumerism in India. So day by day, from past 3 decades, we can notice a gradual growth of a consumerism. Okay, so the moment all the things are being digitalized, okay, the consumerism get increased day by day. Okay, so that is the reason. What exactly the reason is, okay, that is the topic. Consumer rights and responsibilities. What are the rights of the consumer according to Consumer Protection Act? What are the responsibilities of the consumer being a consumer in a market? Okay, followed by role of government, NGOs and consumer organizations in promoting the consumer awareness. Okay, so how exactly NGOs or the consumer organizations which is going to promote the awareness about the consumerism. And also we are going with a Consumer Protection Act 1986 which had been updated for 2019. Okay, it's about Consumer Protection Act, the objectives of Consumer Protection Act, and the characteristics of a Consumer Protection Act. These are the topics that we need to go with. Here guys, they may ask the objectives of Consumer Protection Act for 10 marks. Consumer dispute redressal agencies. It is also important topic when it comes in terms of final exam. Okay, so Consumer Redressal Agency is a agency, okay, so that has been formed by the government, okay, to take care of the consumers or to safeguard the rights of the consumers. Okay, say what happened. Okay, so there are three agencies that has been located. Okay, one is a district forum, state forum, followed by national forum. Okay, so as I said, it is a district forum, state, and the national commission or forum. Okay, so we need to mention the structure. What exactly the structure of the forum? Procedure for filing consumer complaints. So as I said, this is a forum which is going to safeguard the rights of the consumer. What if a consumer gets cheated by the seller? Okay, what is the actual protocol to file the complaint against the firm or the seller? Okay, so that is the topic. Overview of consumer protection in the digital era. Okay, so how the digital era is going to protect the consumer rights. Next one. Okay, so we are going with internal pattern. Okay, so here your paper is a valid paper of 100 marks. Okay, so that 100 marks has been classified into two categories. Okay, 20 marks for internals, 80 marks for externals. Okay, so your internal is 20 marks, 80 marks is your externals. Externals is nothing but the exam that you are going to take at the end of the semester. Internals that we are going to conduct two internals. One is C1 and C2 internals. Okay, so as I said, you will be having a internals of 20 marks, okay, which has been classified into two categories. One is internal 1 and internal 2. Okay, so that is internal 1. Okay, we are going to consider, okay, unit 1, 2 and 3. For internal 2, we are going to consider unit 4 and unit 5. That is a syllabus or the contents for the consideration when it comes in terms of internals. Next one is question paper pattern. Okay, so here it is a internal pattern. Here it is a external pattern. Okay, when it comes in terms of your final exam, guys. Okay, so your final exam paper is a valid paper of 80 marks. Okay, which has been splitted into three categories. That is part A, part B, and part C. Okay, when it comes in terms of part A, you will be having 4 questions of 5 marks. Okay, that is 4 5s are 20. In part B, you will be having 3 questions of 10 marks. That is 10 3s are 30. And in part C, you will be having 2 questions of 15 marks, that is 15 2s are 30. Totally, you are supposed to attend the exam for 80 marks. So, when it comes in terms of marks details, if I want to explain it clearly, okay. So, here, this is a 100 marks valid paper. Okay, so the consumer behavior paper, it is from the marketing background. Okay, so under the marketing specialization. Okay, say what happens. So, here, continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Okay, so that we call it as a CCA. Okay, so that is for the consideration of the assignment. When it comes in terms of second criteria, internal assessment test that we are going to conduct, that is for 10 marks. 10 plus 10, it is going to become 20. Guys, please don't get confused. Okay, so in this slide, I say that, okay, internal 1 and internal 2 will be considered. Okay, in internal 1, there are 2 criteria. One is test, second one is assignment. Here also there are 2 criteria. One is test and second one is assignment. This carries 5 marks. This carries 5 marks. Even this also the same. 5 marks and 5 marks. Okay. So 5 plus 5, 10. 5 plus 5, 10. Okay. So here, okay, as I said, from this one, assignment. Okay. This assignment has been classified into 2 categories. C1 and C2. Even the test also divided into 2 categories, C1 and C2. Okay, so C1 test 5 marks, assignment 5 marks, that is 10 marks. C2 test 5 marks and C2 assignment 5 marks, that is 10 marks. Totally 10 plus 10, 20 marks. Okay, so total is A plus B, that is the criteria, is 20 marks. Your internal is done here, followed by your external. As I explained the question paper pattern, okay, 80 marks valid paper it is. Okay, so that is the 80 marks that you will be having, guys. Okay, so here the question from your end is, sir, how exactly you are going to conduct the test? What is the assignment? I am going to let you know. Okay, so here minimum marks for a pass. If a person want to qualify this paper, what is the criteria? 30% marks is semester end examination, that is 24 marks out of 80. Okay, so if you want to secure or if you want to qualify this paper, okay, so you need to secure minimum of 24 marks out of 80 marks, then you are being qualified. And this is only external. Okay, so this is only for the external. Okay, in this external paper, that is final exam, you need to secure 24 out of 80, but including internal, you need to secure 40 out of 100 marks. Okay, so means, say for example, let me say you had secured 24 marks when it come in terms of externals, you need to secure minimum of 16 marks in terms of internals. Okay, so this is the criteria when it come in terms of exam. Okay, so this is a question paper pattern for your test that is being conducted. So even this question paper pattern also been classified into 3 categories. Okay, part A, part B and part C. Part A, there are 2 questions of 5 marks, of which you need to attend any one among 2 questions. Part B, there are 2 questions of 10 marks, of which you need to attend one among them. Part C also 15 marks 2 question, you need to attend any one among those questions. Finally, I have a books for the reference. Okay, so you can go with this books for the reference. Okay, so apart from this, okay, I recommend you a special book which is going to give you the centum result when it comes in terms of a consumer behavior. What is that golden book? It is nothing but my video classes and a study material. Guys, I am sure about this. Okay, if you go with my complete study materials, if you go with my complete video classes, okay, so each and every inch of my note, each and every inch of my video classes, 100% damn sure, guys, you can secure centum in my subject. Okay, so that I can assure you. Okay, so guys, all the best. Okay, so go with the syllabus. The syllabus is dead easy, that has been framed by University of Mysore. So beautifully the University of Mysore had framed the syllabus. Okay, so all the best, dear students. Thank you.